Addressing conflicts of interest between clients and brokers, where brokers have an interest in doing one thing and it would be in the client's interest to do something else, I should say. One of the key conflicts of interest is what we call blocking of markets. Markets being terminology in the insurance world for insurance companies. You can call them insurance companies or carriers or markets. So blocking markets, this is a very common phrase in the business insurance world, blocking markets. So as background, there's a business practice for property and casualty that is different from health insurance. And that business practice says that each insurance company will only work with one broker on any particular account. And so typically it's the first broker that sends in an application to the insurance company on behalf of that business. That is the broker that the insurance company will work with. As a side note, that can be reversed with what is called a broker of record letter, but typically the first broker that sends in an application is the broker the insurance company is either going to release a quote to or decline to quote to. Once a declination is released, and once an insurance company declines to quote, very, very rarely do they ever reverse that position, reverse that declination for any other broker, because they don't want to get into these battles between brokers. They don't want to ruin their relationships between brokers. And the same holds true when they release a quote. Once they release a quote, very rarely, if a client says, I want another broker to work with you on my behalf, once a quote is released in any particular year, very rarely does the insurance company change that quote. So that's a business practice that's in property casualty insurance that it doesn't exist in health insurance, where health insurance companies will release quotes to multiple brokers. But it drives some behavior. And what it drives is what is called blocking of markets. This really takes place where brokers are concerned about having a particular insurance company approached by another broker, and especially where the other broker has a really strong relationship. So for example, it's in the client's best interest to get the best quotes from the most insurance companies, but it's really in the broker's interest to make sure that no other brokers can compete. And one way you can accomplish that is by blocking markets. So what the broker will do is send an application to a particular insurance company, ABC Insurance Company. And once ABC receives that application and logs it into their computer as received from the first broker, then no other broker can send in an application and work on that account without specific written authority to do so from the client. And so it's in the broker's best interest to block markets that could be powerful competitors if they were in the hands of another broker. If I have a bad relationship with ABC Insurance Company and I don't really have much confidence that I'm going to get any quote at all, or if it is a quote, it'll probably be not a very good quote, because my relationship isn't that good with ABC Insurance Company. I don't have that much premium volume. Perhaps I have a high loss ratio, etc. But I'm very concerned because the broker down the street has a great relationship with ABC Insurance Company. So what I want to make sure I do is I send an application and I block the other broker from being able to obtain a quote from ABC. And so I send an application there. Obviously that defeats the client's interest in getting the best quote possible, but it does protect the broker. There's another incentive too. I've talked before about how brokers they really have to let underwriters decline business at time. You can't have an underwriter quote and quote and quote repeatedly and not expect at some point that the underwriter is going to lose interest in working with that broker on new business. So by blocking the market, you really don't care if you get a declination. If you do get a declination, you're safe. That insurance company is not going to quote for another broker this year. You've also built your relationship with that underwriter in a roundabout way, because the underwriter didn't have to quote and do a lot of work for no reason.